Happy 2026, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's. I definitely did. It was very busy. It was fun. My kids have been off of school for the past 2 weeks. I wanted to make this video today because 2026, January, it's a fresh start. It's a new beginning. It's a clean slate. I think we should just all take full advantage of this year and make it our own. I wanted to go over a few ways that can help you make 2026 one of the best years for you yet. And I don't want you to think back on 2025 or even, before that and be critical of yourself, get yourself upset because you let yourself down or you said you were going to do something and you didn't stick with it. It really does happen to everybody. It's okay. What has helped me and what you can do too is look back on 2025 and reflect on what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Think about the things that taught you the most and what lessons you learned from that. Everybody's growing and everybody grows at their own pace. Not everyone grows at the same speed. So you want to choose growth over perfection. Growth can be messy. Growth doesn't have to be flashy, doesn't have to be pretty. A lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times with growth, you're looking at the flaws inside you. You're trying to get to the root of the problem to change it. Sometimes that's not always pretty. Many of the times it's quiet consistency. You don't have to post everything you're doing on social media. I think that's one of the worst things people can do because then you are allowing people to give their opinions on something that is very important to you and something that you want to do and want to work on. Sometimes, even though you might have the best intention sharing something, sometimes it's not always the best idea for you. If you have a big goal that you want to work toward, keeping it to yourself will protect your focus. And I think that's one of the biggest and most important things you can do when you're trying to work towards something. There's fewer outside opinions, there's fewer outside expectations, plus your energy stays on the work and not somebody's expectation. When you are working towards something that you want to accomplish, setting intentional goals is key. You want to have goals that are rooted in purpose and not pressure. So this kind of goes back to keeping it to yourself, because if you have those outside expectations, you might have those outside pressures to make a goal or to do something or to accomplish something, and you kind of psych yourself out. So keeping it to yourself is a lot more important than I think people realize. And when you're setting these intentional goals, you don't want to compare yourself to other people. That is one of the worst things you can possibly do. Everybody is on their own path. Everybody grows at their own pace, and no two people are alike. I mean, how boring would it be if we were all the same? But if you see somebody and they're already at where you want to be, and you think to yourself, oh, I want that to be me, and you get this like envious feeling in you, that's the worst thing that can happen. You have to realize they didn't start there. They, like for me, for example, with photography and underwater, I see these photographers and they share these beautiful images, and their photos are in magazines and books, on the internet, like everywhere. And I've gotten that envious feeling before and just kind of mad, like I got upset. I realized this was happening. I said to myself, they didn't start there. They started where I'm at now, and they worked toward it, and now this is where they're at, but they didn't start up at the top. They started at the bottom. Knowing that alone is very important, and you just want to keep that in mind too. Consistency over motivation. Motivation, it's a wonderful thing. I love it because it's what gets you started. Inspiration, I feel like inspiration isn't always there all the time either, just like motivation isn't always there all the time. Motivation's great, inspiration's great. It's gonna get you going, but it's consistency and discipline that is going to sustain it over time and make you grow over time. You want to show up even when you don't feel like it. Believe me, there's going to be days where you're not going to feel like doing something, but you know that it's going to help you reach your goal, so you do it. Trusting those small steps will compound over time, and you'll gain momentum and new opportunities will open up to you. You want to build habits that support the life that you want. I don't know. I've read multiple things, like it takes a week to build a new habit. Personally, I don't think that's long enough. I read a month. I've read 3 weeks. I think it depends on how long you've been doing the old habit that you want to break, which will affect how long it takes to form a new habit. But you want those new habits to be positive and be productive, and you want them to support the life that you want. So doing all of this, you are going to have to step out of your comfort zone. Comfort zones, it's where everything ends. Because if you are doing the same thing every single day, your life becomes very routine, kind of like you're in a rut, and your body's used to moving the same exact way. Your brain is used to thinking the same exact thoughts every single day. You start to do things without even realizing that you're doing them. Your body is just autopilot. Nothing is learned from that. Everything is just the same and stagnant. So stepping out of your comfort zone, there's no other way around it to reach your goals. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with doing new things, putting yourself out there. You have to be okay with failing. And I actually want to do a video on this separately because it's just incredibly important how much you learn from failure. Another example, like social media. People post what they want you to see. They post the good moments, the happy moments. They don't post the sad moments, the depressed moments, the am I ever going to be able to do this moment, the crying, being upset. But that is what happens when you are changing, and that is what happens when you're evolving. That is what happens when you're going against what your body was so used to doing for so many years that, your body, your mind too. If you are trying to change how you think about something, if you're trying to think more positively about something, and you've been thinking negatively for the past 25 years, you're going to get a lot of resistance at first to try and change that thought process. But being out of your comfort zone is where it's going to happen. You have to be okay with being new to something. You have to be okay with being a beginner. You have to be okay with not succeeding right away. You have to be okay with failure. Failure is where you learn the lessons. You do something, you fail at it. Okay, what did I learn from that? And then you change it, and then you try again. But it's going to happen if you don't quit. If you are relentless and you don't quit, it is going to happen for you. And by doing this, by stepping out of your comfort zone and growing, you're learning to overcome your fear and your self-doubt. Fear doesn't mean to stop. Fear is a natural thing. Our brains are designed to keep us safe. Your brain will automatically look for things that might threaten you. It will look for, if you're doing something new, it's going to think, hey, I don't know if we should do this. This makes me uncomfortable. We're just going to say, I'm too tired and I don't want to go out, or I don't want to do that workout, or I don't want to reach this goal. I'll do it tomorrow. And you procrastinate and you make excuses for yourself. And by the end of the year, you're not going to get anywhere. This is where the change happens. This is where you can step into something more meaningful. And self-doubt, I want to say it usually shows up when something matters to you. And you think, oh, I could never do something like that. That would be really cool, but I could never do something like that. Stop thinking that. You can. But you need to have these stepping stones, and you need to just start. One thing that I did learn a lot of in 2025 is courage. And I read a lot of Brené Brown books. She talks about vulnerability, courage. I think that is a very big key component to growth. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be okay with this is going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, not forever. Once you get used to it, you're used to it, and then you're not afraid of it anymore. But having that courage to step out of that comfort zone and to try something new is key to getting to where you want to be. We live in a very fast-paced world. Compared to 40 years ago, 30 years ago, the world is completely different. It's completely changed. There's a lot of chaos going on. Our schedules are busy. We don't have 10 minutes to sit down half the time. Especially, full-time job, kids, just you're wanting to build something. Life is busy. This world is very chaotic. So being present and mindful can be very difficult at times. but you really want to try and slow down and not rush through the moments. And I have a hard time with this as well because I feel like I have to do a million things every day, and I have my to-do list, I have things that I have to get done. I'm one of those people that have a checklist everywhere because if I don't, I will forget. So it's hard for me to slow down, take a deep breath, and be present. But being more present with your family, with your friends, it opens up your creativity. You get more aligned with your purpose because you get more clarity and you can think straight. You want to enter the new year with complete openness. You want to be able to trust the process even when the process isn't clear yet. Choose faith, have curiosity, and have intention over fear. What I've learned just the past couple months, that intention is very, very important in reaching your goals. You don't want to get in your head about it. You don't want to have all these thoughts because a lot of the times, I mean, your thoughts are just thoughts. A thought that you think to yourself doesn't mean that it's true. You know, you saying, oh, I could never do something like that. Why not? A lot of the times it's the self-doubt and the fear. So you want to ask yourself, is this fear trying to protect me, or is this fear limiting me? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the fear is limiting me. And you may not be confident about doing something new. Who is, right? I mean, if it's new, you don't know what to expect. You don't know the outcome. You don't know how it's going to be. But building confidence comes through action, not before it. You can prepare yourself as much as you can. You can do your research, you know, whatever the situation is. But it's going to be a completely different experience for you because you're you. And if you get somebody else's experience, you're not that person. So you might have something completely different that's going to happen. I feel like I'm going off here on a tangent. I feel like I'm rambling. But small, imperfect steps will, what am I trying to say? Taking small steps will weaken fear more than overthinking ever will. I think that makes sense. Letting go of the need to be ready, because there's never really a perfect time to start something. Not amongst all the chaos and our busy schedules. If you want to start something new, you just have to start. And it's very important, and I can't stress this enough, and I'm still learning how to do this because it takes time, and it takes, I don't know if it just takes practice, but it definitely takes time with learning things and then messing them up and then learning them again. But giving yourself grace. It requires patience, and that's something I'm not that great at. It requires patience and compassion for yourself. So don't be too hard on yourself when you're learning something new. Again, it's new to you. Think of a toddler who's learning how to ride a tricycle, and they're not coordinated yet to, how to move the pedals. Think of that. Like, you wouldn't be hard on them. So don't be hard on yourself. You're learning something new, something you've never done before. Your brain isn't wired to do it yet. So taking the little steps, taking the baby steps is important. Giving yourself grace, consistency. You can start something new, do it for a week, and then never do it again. And you'll still be in the same spot if you try it a year later. Like, being consistent, you will grow over time. So go out there, make 2026 the best year yet for you. I'm so excited for you. I hope this helps. I'm going to be making more diving videos coming up, and I have a couple more interviews. I believe Tim's going to be interviewing me too. I will talk to him about that, but I think he is. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.